What up, what up, Y'all already know who it is, your boy Billiam. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah. What the feezy? 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 So this particular day, new cadets coming in. Well, when new cadets come in, it's like Christmas time. Everybody happy. The people with money happy because they finna try to pitch something to her to try to bring them, get them a pack. The mad jackers happy because all the new cadets go because they knew, they don't know, you know what I'm saying? They finna try all the new people. Everybody happy to see new faces and stuff, and then, you know, like you get burnt out, or if so many staff members niggas been talking about you like a dog, and they got all these people believing it, getting a new group of people in there is always better. It's always a good thing. So they bring the cadets down, they taking them to every building, they come in, so we all looking. Joe Dirt standing right next to me, we looking, just trying to peep out who we like, what they look like, remember their faces, all that type of stuff. And this one girl, she had a real big butt. Joe Dirt talking about some, God damn, folks, she got a backpack. She's carrying around a backpack on her ass, it looks like. I'm like, man, shut the hell up. They take them back out, but they leave one cadet in the building with the officer, and they go on to the next building. So, you know, there's all kind of people pushing up, trying to talk to her, what's your name, woo-de-woo-de-woo. But I like to do stuff like that once the main officer not there. Now, the officer that was working with her, she cool. She was a cool lady. She wasn't even no BS, but it's still, like I said many times in many other videos, you never get the real person when you're dealing with them in front of another person. So I wait till the other officer push off. So she basically showed her how to use the controls, how to pop the doors, how to let her out the end of the gate, how to do this, how to do that. And then she leave out to go down there to whatever she gotta do, because sometimes they'll call you to come out your building. That's when I push up. Hey, excuse me, hey, how you doing? She like, hey. I'm like, what's your name? My name Bill. She like, Miss Nails. I say, nails, like on your finger? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, that was so, how old you with me, Nails? She was like 21. I probably was about 27 at that time. She was all right. She was a cute girl, you know. I'm like, okay, so we just chopping it up with the woo. So while I'm talking to her, I look over. I see Dirt stupid ass sitting there on the bench in the TV room looking at me like this. So I'm trying not to, you know what I'm saying, laugh and stuff, or have her thinking, fuck, that nigga trying to be funny over here in my face and keep smiling and shit. So I push off after a little minute. I push over there to Dirt. I'm like, folks, what the hell you keep staring at me, smiling and grinning for? They're like, folks, you're a slick motherfucker, folks. I'm like, bruh, let me do me, you feel me? So he trying to convince me that she like him. I'm like, bro, that girl don't like you. You ain't even said 2 words to the girl. He said he did talk to her. He said, I had went back in my room. So I'm like, no, she don't, bro. So he was like, come on, G. Let's go ask her, G. Let's go ask her. So I'm like, bro, I walk over here with him, fuck it. We get up to the thing. Now, he did have to talk to her because I never told him her name, and he said her name. So when we got to the thing, he said, Miss Nails. So she looked up. He was like, let me ask you a question. So she was like, what's up? He looked up at me and looked back at her and said, which one you like, white chocolate or the regular chocolate? And she looked at us and bust out laughing. She was like, y'all don't get y'all ass on. So we just sitting there trolling, talking to her. And then here come Milk. Milk is a member of the Gap gang. Do not ask me why they call her Milk. I never asked or see, she got me stuttering trying to think about this shit. I don't know why they call this young man Milk. He come walking down the steps, switching and twitching and shit, but he's staring inside the booth. So you know he bout finna come over here. Joe Dirt was like, well, I'll catch you later, Miss Nails. This twinkle twinkle motherfucker's finna come over here, and I don't like talking to his ass. So she looked up and bust out laughing. So when Dirt walked off, I walked off too. So Milk go over there to the booth. He's sitting there chopping it up with her, bruh. I promise you, that man was there for probably the next 30 minutes. I'm like, hold on now, what the fuck Milk got going on? So then when the other officer came back, he didn't leave. That's what most people would do. When the real main officer come back, they'll get the hell on and just wait for that opportunity to holler at the cadet again. He didn't move. Now he got both of them like engaged in the conversation, bro, for the rest of the shift. I could barely even get in and say something else to her. Milk was on her ass like white on rice. One thing that everybody noticed, everybody commented on, when they came and walked through, like whenever they did count time, whenever they just came and did random rounds, because that's another thing the officers be doing. Whenever a cadet with them, they'll try to the most part come do walkthroughs like every 15 or 30 minutes, knowing damn well that's not what they do when they just be them by themselves. But every time they came and walked through, something we noticed, Ms. Nails was smelling good as hell, bro. We don't know what type of perfume or body spray, whatever it was she had on, that girl smelled so good. The whole dorm recognized it. It was like a fruity type of spray, but you could tell it's a good spray because, you know, we've been looking at her all day. She ain't keep spraying herself all day. So she probably did that this morning and it still stick, bro. I just know it was something fruity. It just smelled real good. We knew it wasn't the other officer with her because she always worked. Her ass be funky sometimes. So we knew for a fact it was the cadet. But for the next 2 days that they come on, because the regular officers work 2 days and they get, depending on how the week fall, how the last week was, they'll work 2 days, they'll get 3 days off. Then they'll work 3 days, get 2 days off. But when you're a cadet, you gotta work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Ain't no 2 day off, nothing. You got to work. I think they only off on the weekends. I think, shit, they might work weekends too, but they don't get no days off Monday through Friday. Bro, damn near every day, milk on her ass, bro. I say for the next 2 days straight, milk on her ass. So now this like 3 days in. So he over there talking to her one day. I'm out here at the bench acting like I'm watching TV. What? Acting like I'm watching TV. I'm not even watching nothing. Bro, so the dude, like, you know how when you talking to somebody and something was just confirmed or some shit like that, like, okay, how you just push off real quick. That's how he did. He just pushed off immediately away from the booth. Went, looked straight to my door, got ready to walk that way, but looked over. And when he seen me, he came walking over there kind of fast. C-Bill. I'm like, what's up, folks? And he asked me if he could use my phone at 6:30 exactly for an hour, and he'll pay me $5. Now, this is the thing. It's a few things that I immediately analyzed. You've been talking to this girl for days. I like this girl. I don't know what the fuck you talking to her so much for. You immediately walked away from over there and came and asked me if you could use the phone at 6:30 for 1 hour. One thing I know for sure, this cadet gets off work at 6 o'clock. But you got to be on the safe side and give it 30 minutes just in case, because when they leave their shift, I believe they go to another briefing where they got to talk to people. You know, the deputy warden probably talk to them, how was your day, all that. So you trying to give it 30 minutes. So in my mind, this nigga finna be talking to her on the phone. So I tell him immediately, I'm like, yeah, bro, you ain't got to give me $5. You know, the hour only costs $3, bro, you feel me? He was like, okay, that'll be perfect, appreciate it. So he shooting his own. And they come back up. This how you know it's important. A lot of niggas will wait till the time to pay you. This nigga came out with 300 bonds and was like, I'm just giving it to you now to lock it in. I'm like, damn, this shit kind of important, huh? So he like, hell yeah. When the shift ends, they go head on about their business. I made sure the phone was nice and charged up. Man, it was like 6:28, that nigga knocking at my door. So I tell him pull the door all the way open, come in here so it's wide open, because you know the rules and stuff. So I hand him the phone. He immediately stick it in his pocket, shoot out, go to his room. So he brought it back to me. He seemed like he was excited. He like, all right, C-Bill. So I told him, I said, hey, listen, I ain't trying to be in your video. I ain't trying to be in your business or nothing. You know, I definitely know how to mind my business. I say, but if you do got anything going on with Shouty, because he ain't really had no money. I mean, he went to the store every week, but you just know the people that do and don't in prison have money, like, to be able to make something shake, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, I told him, I said, listen, if you do got anything going on, you trying to make something shake, I say, that's what I do. I put $1,500 on the table where you could give Shouty. All I want for that $1,500 is 3 cans of tobacco. I will give you a can. You can have your own can, and I'll just do me with the other 2 and shit. She get $1,500. So he knew, you know, when you come at it like that, he didn't even try to play it stupid, like, oh, no, I ain't got nothing going on, blah, 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 blah. He know a nigga chain gang, you feel me? He was like, nah, I don't know about doing all that, but I see what's up. So when he said that, it confirmed what I was already thinking and why he wanted that phone at that particular time. And then he started buying the time every day around that same time, except for the weekends when she was off. He'd buy it early, he'd get it earlier, just anytime throughout the day. So one morning I wake up, I go in the TV room after I brush my teeth and wash my face. You see him in there. You see Ms. Nails power walking, like speed walking this way. So he leave out the TV room, hurry up, shoot over there, lift up the flap. So I stand back in the cut in the TV room. He outside the TV room, I meant to say. So I'm standing in the cut in the TV room, bro, I promise you, with my own 2 eyes. I saw that girl walked in real quick, did something, I don't know what she was doing, and then she looked back to where the other officer was still walking up, and she did like that. And Milk put his hand in that flap, stuck his hand in his pants, hurry up, went to his room. I said, oh yeah, she dropping. She's definitely dropping the pack for sure. So he tried to throw me off, and I mean, I guess ain't nothing wrong with it, because he probably trying to keep me out his video, like, hell no, I don't, because I mean, at the end of the day, he might got another sponsor with some money, you know what I'm saying? They did their regular shift, he's still in her face and all that type of stuff. So the next day was a Saturday, so she didn't work. So I wake up that next morning early, I ain't gotta go to work or nothing, but I'm still just chilling. Brushing my teeth, wipe my face, all that. And I identified Ms. Nails by her smell. I'm telling you, bro, she wore that same perfume and it smelled good, and everybody knew like that was her. When they smell that, that's Ms. Nails, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking around, I look in the booth, it's Funky officer. You know what I'm saying? So I walk over there, I'm like, okay, Ms. Nails must be in the bathroom or something. So I go in my little TV room area where I usually be at, I see the dude Milk standing in there. He looking out the window, and then he was like, all right now, CBL. I was like, all right. And then he walked out. But I smelled that smell right there in the TV room. So I'm like, yeah, Ms. Nails definitely in here. I go look out the window, see nothing, just normal movement. I go back up to the thing. I'm like, what's up, Miss Such Such? Should I have, what's up, Mia? I'm like, you ain't got Ms. Nails with you today? She was like, nah, you know, it's a weekend. Cadets don't work on weekends. Unless they like want to pick up extra time or something. She was like, but for the most part, they don't let cadets work Saturday and Sunday. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. I was like, As soon as I say that, Deputy Warden Gallant coming out the thing, out his room, he come walking up. I go walk. I talk to her for like 2 more seconds, and then I walk off. I come down here. He like, hey, Bill. I'm like, yeah, what's Santa Gallant? He was like, oh, Miss Nails' little pretty little self here today, huh? I'm like, why you say that? He said, I could smell her. It's all in the air. Hey, Bill, sometimes my nostrils work better than my eyes. So I was like, nah, shit, that's what I just thought. I just asked her. She just said, Miss Nails ain't, she don't work today because it's a Saturday. And he was like, damn sure right, Bill. They don't let cadets work on the weekends, huh? And I said, nah, immediately. He turned his head and looked down towards Milk Room, but he didn't say nothing. He turned his head back. He was like, all right now. He went in his room, and then that's when I thought, I saw her hand him something yesterday. I wonder if she gave that nigga some perfume or something, you know what I'm saying? So Deputy Warden Gallant stayed in the dorm a little longer than he usually would, because even on the weekends, he'd do the ice detail for the weekend. He'll do sanitation by himself if a dorm just need bleach or need disinfectant, if they call for it, you know what I'm saying, depending on who the OIC is, which is the officer in charge. It could be anybody, a lieutenant or up. And if they, you know, tell him go do it or he good or whatever the case is. Before Deputy Warden Gallant leave out the room, there's about 2 Gap gang members standing up there. He come out, he fully dressed, shirt tucked in, he walk all the way up there, and I see him up there talking to them for about 2 minutes. And then he turned around, grabbed his cart, and left out. So the weekend was smooth. When the weekday came back that Monday, Ms. Nails was back working. Gallant left out earlier than I did, but I was right behind him. But he left out a couple seconds earlier than me. When I'm walking out the dorm and coming down the chute from the salad pole, you see Ms. Nails standing there and Gallant got one hand holding the cart and the other hand he talking to her. So I walked to the left side to make it seem like I'm not trying to listen to what they saying, but y'all know I was listening like a mother. So as I'm walking past, I hear Gallant saying, yeah, Miss Nails, you know these boys gonna be trying to finesse you now to do things here, and you just can't do that now, Miss Nails. You got you a good job. This ain't even no job, this a career, Miss Nails. Don't fuck up your career now, Miss Nails. Don't fuck up your career now. You a young girl, you a pretty girl, but you know you might need to stop coming in here with that stuff smelling good like that here, because the inmates here, these motherfuckers is some real tricksters now. So she was like, no, Gallant, I like to smell good for me. It ain't nothing about no inmates and nothing. And the thing that's crazy, this is a fucking inmate talking to a new officer this way, bro. So she like, no, I like to smell good for me. I like to smell good everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna let no inmate trick me into nothing, but I seen her pass something off. She's lying about that part. I ain't finna let no inmate trick me into passing nothing or bringing no contraband or nothing. And this nigga said, before I was out of earshot, the last thing I heard this nigga say was, Ms. Nails, I don't know if you know or not, but I see everything. Hey, Ms. Nails, my peripheral work better than my straight vision. And when I heard that, I just kept walking. That was the last thing I heard them saying. I said, I don't know what the fuck wrong with this man, fucking with these people, you know what I'm saying? Get up there to detail. I had to wait on the gate, so Gallant ended up catching up to me. When the officer was coming to unlock the gate, he said, yeah, Bill, these motherfuckers think they slick. Not on my motherfucking watch. And then he wiped his head, and I just looked over at him, the way he looking, that damn lip just drooping down. He wiping his head, talking about, not on my motherfucking watch, Bill. And he just looked so funny. I'm like, what the hell you talking about, Gallant? He said, I don't know. I think that Miss Nails and that gay boy now got something going on. I don't know what the fuck they got going on, but I've been paying a whole lot of close attention lately here, Bill, and it's just something funny. That shit with that smell, that was fresh, Bill. That perfume we smelled over the weekend, that shit, that was fresh. That wasn't from no day ago. I really believe Miss Nails brought that boy some of that stuff, and she better hope like fuck she didn't, Bill, because if I find out, I'm gonna put the motherfucking warden on her, and her ass will be fired just as quick as she got hired, Bill. And I was just like, damn, this nigga fucked up in the head, bro. But you know, if that's the life he wanted to live, and I guess I don't want to say his purpose is to snitch. I don't think nobody's purpose is to just run around telling on niggas. Well, I guess it is. And you know, shit, that's what he want to do with his time. He got all that time. Shit, he probably need to do something to keep some form of excitement flowing and rolling, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know nothing about that. He said, you ain't noticed that, Bill? That you said you smelled it too. I said, yeah, I smelled it, but shit, I mean, man, that could have been anything, bro. You know, niggas put all kind of concoctions together. He said, nah, Bill, not smelling like no motherfucking strawberries, flowers, and bananas. No, ain't no nigga putting no concoction like that together, Bill. You know that. So we finally get up there to detail. I go straight in, doing my shit, doing what I gotta do. Deputy Warden of Security pulled me out while I was mopping the men's bathroom. He didn't pull me out, he just called my name. So I step out, I'm like, yes, sir. He was like, be at my office in about 20 minutes. I need to ask you something. I was like, all right. And then he kept walking. So I went cleaning up the female's bathroom on this side, then I used the dust mop to hit this whole floor. And then I grabbed the regular mop, hit this floor, then I went and grabbed the buffer from the, where was it at? From the education area, brought it back up there, looked at my watch, it was about 3 minutes left on the clock, and I just set everything up with the buffer pad and stuff, and then I went and told the lady at the main gate that I need to get popped through. I need to go to the deputy warden office. And she didn't even question me or nothing, because most of the time, you coming from administration as an orderly, it looked like somebody from up front sent you down there or whatever. Sometimes they ask you why, but for the most part, she just let me go. So I went inside security. His secretary was like, yes. I said, Dep told me to come holler at him. She said, hold on. And she went and said something to him. He said, yeah. She said, go ahead. I stepped in there. I said, yes, sir. He said, you know that new cadet name is Nails? I said, not really. I seen a lot of cadets. I'm not sure which one you talking about. He said, the one that been working your building, the young one, dark skin one, kind of slim. I said, okay, yeah, what about him? He said, you don't know nothing about her bringing stuff to Jefferson? Jefferson is milk. I said, nah, I don't know nothing about that. He said, you sure? I said, I don't know nothing about that. He said, okay, I'm just trying to see because something slid across my desk telling me that, and I know you be knowing stuff. I said, nah, I don't know nothing about that, sir. He was like, all right, go ahead. He knew I was lying, though. But, nigga, don't ask me nothing like that, bro. My whole time working administration, I think they only tried me, like, on some asking for information shit probably about 3 times. And after the 3 times they see I didn't go, they just was like, fuck it. And then they started looking at me like the people they used to be asking about. So they called lunch. Now, I was about to go because it was bologna, and I ain't turning down no good bologna sounds, you know what I'm saying? Then they give you the mayonnaise and the mustard packet. So I go when I see my building going, and I used to do that for security reasons sometimes too. Certain positioning brings haters. So sometimes I would go though with other dorms, but I prefer to go with my dorm because I live with these people anyway, so it ain't like, feel me? So I go in there, I sit down at the table, we get up to leave. When we walking out, Milk came up to me. He was like, C-Bill. I was like, yeah, what's up? He was like, I might be able to take you up on that offer in a minute. I said, for real, about the 1,500? He was like, mm-hmm. I was like, all right, for sure, just fuck with me, holler at me, let me know something. He was like, all right. I said, hey, listen though. He was like, what's up? I said, I'm about to tell you something, but this has to stay between us. You cannot repeat this. So he was like, what? So I say, bro, I think y'all kind of hot. He was like, what you mean kind of hot? I said, I just overheard some people in administration talking about inmate named Jefferson and Ms. Nails. So he was like, oh, you lying. I was like, I'm dead ass serious, so you might need to pump your brakes real quick, whatever it is you got going on. So he was like, I appreciate it. I go back up there to the detail. As I'm walking up, Gallant sitting on the bench on his little break, cause we get lunch break, and he eating. I could tell he got the stuff from the deputy warden of security. I mean, the warden's secretary. He eating like sandwich and stuff. She give you a pack out and stuff. And as I was walking up, getting closer up the gate, he did me like this. So I went over there, I sat down next to him. I was like, what's up, Gallant? And he was eating the sandwich. He was like, and another motherfucking thing, Bill. And then he sipped the soda she gave him. He said, and one of them boys just told me, guess what the fuck they say Miss Nails be letting them boys do? I said, what? Jack, Bill. She be letting them boys jack on her. You know how motherfucking degrading that is, Bill? Nah, see, one thing I hate about a motherfucker, I don't like no crooked ass inmate, but the only motherfucking thing I hate over a crooked inmate is a crooked fucking officer, Bill. You took a fucking oath to come in here and get you a good career and serve and protect these inmates, and then you want to come down here with all this motherfucking foolishness. Nah, I got something up my sleeves for her ass, Bill. And I just was sitting here like, bro, there's no way in the fuck this is your focus in life. Nigga, put some of this focus into the law library and try to look up some damn cases or something. Try to get up out this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So I leave, I get back to the dorm. Bro, as soon as I walk through the door, I hear, C-Bill, C-Bill. Everybody looking now, cause they like, the fuck, this nigga Milk calling Bill name like that, folks. So I look up, I'm like, what's up, folks? So he doing this. Like telling me, come here, but he doing it all extra. I'm like, bro, don't be fucking calling my name like that, bro. And then when I come walking up the steps, Joe Dirt bitch ass gonna look up at me talking about, going up them steps mighty fast, folks. What the fuck y'all got to talk about? I said, man, shut the fuck up. So I walk upstairs. He pushed his door wide open when because he knew that's how you got to do when I come in your room. So I stepped in the cell. I'm like, what's up, folks? And he was grabbing something out his box and turned his hand and did it like this. He said, how much you would give me for this? And it was a single Newport 100. Boy, I hadn't seen a Newport 100 in so long. I say, what the fuck? I grabbed it out of his hand, I smelled it to make sure it was him. I said, bro, where the rest of them at? I know you got more than that. He said, this is all I got, bro. This is the only one I got. He ain't got no more. He was like, this is literally the only one I got. I said, what you want for? He was like, just load me up on the phone time. I'll get some more eventually. So I was like, shit, I give you about 10 hours for it. So he was like, it's a deal. This is another thing that the cadets could do that the officers can't do, which kind of don't make sense, but I guess whatever. They can leave for lunch. Like if they want to go on their lunch break, if they want to go to their car, if they want to leave and go to a store, to a restaurant, they can. But the regular officer can't. She left, came back with a Wendy's bag. She was in there eating Wendy's and stuff. I'd say she was back in the booth for probably 15 minutes, but she kept looking, because I'm looking at her. I noticed her looked up at Milk room about 4 or 5 times. He came walking down like clockwork, went right up there. He was talking to her for a minute. He kept looking this way, like looking to the dorm. And once it looked like wasn't nobody paying him no attention, but I promise you, he stuck his hand in the flap real quick, went straight in his pocket, went back to the room. I said, oh yeah, she dropping Chris Brown for Milk. We definitely finna get in there now. So when he leave, I go up there. I'm just talking to her for a while. The other officer wasn't in there. I'm full-fledged flirting with her now. I'm trying it now. You know what I'm saying? It's like she entertaining it or whatever the case is. So I went to talking about a phone, like talking about, shit, fuck with me. Like, let a nigga call you or something like that. And bruh, she looked at me and started smiling and said, what, you got that 706 number? I said, what the fuck? She bust out laughing. And that's when she put everything on the table then, which was stupid. But I don't know if Milk said something to her, like CB the one put me on point. That's why she felt comfortable just saying that. But she said, you the one with that she said, you the boy with that 706 number. So I know he probably told her, yeah, dude, such and such, that's the one whose phone I be using, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, that is crazy. So she laughing and stuff. I'm like, well, shit, you got the number, start using it. You know what I'm saying? When ain't nobody else, you ain't talking to nobody else with her. So she like, all right, cool, okay, whatever. So the regular officer coming back, so I push off. So everything was straight, normal day. Gallant came back in there with all his investigations and all that type of stuff, theories and shit. The very next day, bro, I'm on detail. I was flirting with Ms. Milk. She still, whoa. I meant to say flirting with Ms. Nails. Y'all know motherfucking well I didn't mean to say that. So I was flirting with Ms. Nails for a few little minutes before I pushed off. And I probably was on the detail, bro, for probably at the max 30 minutes. And while I had just got done sweeping the outside part of the entrance where the staff come in. So then I go to the inside part where I could see the whole sidewalk, and I'm sweeping that out. I see 2 CERT team members walking in there with Ms. Nails. So immediately I look up at her like, what the fuck? And she was kind of looking at me like, so I feel like, damn, she done got popped doing something. And you know, just anybody that she talked to about anything illegal dealing, she probably like, shit, I don't know who the hell, you feel me? So I'm like, oh, hell no. So one of the CERT told the lady in the booth who controlling both of the doors, he was like, hey, I'm gonna need you, I'm about to send somebody else in there to replace you real quick, but I need 2 women. So she was like, okay, everything okay? He said, just come on. So they told me to go back in on that side. So I went back in on that side. I went like by the warden office and just started sweeping. But I'm really trying to be nosy, seeing what the hell going on. As soon as he walked through there and she came through, you see another female officer that usually worked B building coming through, and they both came up there. CERT team pulled out 2 pair of gloves and gave it to the 2 officers. And they was like, hey, y'all go in there, strip search her. We're looking for any type of contraband. So Ms. Nails was like, strip search me for what? I don't feel comfortable with that. Y'all want me to get naked? I ain't got no goddamn contraband on me. So the deputy warden of security was coming out the main warden office, and then the main warden came out behind him when she was saying that. So he came out and took over. That nigga came and regulated. That nigga said, it don't matter if you feel uncomfortable or anything. We got reason to believe you bringing contraband into these inmates, and we about to strip search you right now. You only got one of 3 options. You're gonna consent to the strip search since you don't have nothing on you, or you're gonna sign these papers. He looked back at the warden. The warden had like 2 sheets of paper in his hand. He said, you're gonna sign these papers and just resign right now. You don't get fired. You don't get nothing bad on your record. You just say you quit, or you're gonna force us to fire you. If you don't do this strip search, or if you don't resign, we're gonna just fire you right now. So it's up to you. So she was sitting there staring, looking nervous, and then she fucked around and looked up. Like when I looked up, she locked eyes with me. I guess the warden noticed that because immediately he said, "Hey, Bill, go to the back." So I said, all right, he wanted me to get out of there. So when I was walking out, she said, "Okay, I guess I'll do the search." When I went to the back, the two officers and Ms. Nails, the two female officers and Ms. Nails went in the bathroom. The CERT team, the deputy warden of security, and the main warden stood right there in that little living room area outside the bathroom. And bro, y'all ain't gonna believe what they found on this girl, but you got to watch part 2 to see.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. What the